All right, Sully. So the captain check in. Dak Prescott, 17-7, robust. Alvin Kamara, 16-8. Zeke Elliott, 16-2. CeeDee Lamb, 15,000. Taysom Hill, 14-4. Discounted. Trevor Siemian, they priced it because they didn't know, 14-1. Amari Cooper, an interesting captain at 12-9. Tony Pollard, 11-7. Dalton Schultz, 11-4. Michael Gallup, 10-2. Marquez Callaway, 9-6. And then after that, you sort of get into the less appealing, cheaper options. What stands out to you for a captain spot here?
I mean, I think that Taysom Hill is going to be the most chalk, right? Especially when we talk about, we're just talking about him, like the rushing equity that he's going to have, the red zone attempts that he's going to have. So to me, I almost wonder if we can pay up for Prescott, where we know he's going to have, I think he's going to be the lowest captain out of the two quarterbacks because it's such a huge number. I do wonder if we can kind of get some value there with the high, how often are you going to have Dak Prescott as a captain that might be the lower own of the two quarterbacks?
Just because if you have to pay for Dak, then it gets to be expensive. All right, let's start out with a Dak captain. What do you go to next?
I would probably lean towards CeeDee Lamb there, but again, that's a little expensive. Maybe Amari Cooper at 8-6.
Yeah, I mean, what the way to do it, if you want to differentiate yourself, I don't know why I haven't mentioned it, but like do double stacks instead of just a single stack. And so we do Amari Cooper and Dalton Schultz.
Sure. I like that.
Okay. You can triple stack if you want. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, Amari Cooper is probably going to be under owned. Let's see. Add Amari. It's Amari.
I do wonder, are the defenses in play at all for this game? We do talk about.
I think that'll be a good contrarian play.
Yeah,
for sure. I mean, I don't know. I think if you do the defenses, you want to do the thing where you have one defense as your captain,
right?
Because that's actually done pretty well in recent weeks, I believe. But it needs to be a spot where people are like, "Oh, high total, can't play the defenses," and you sneak them in there.
Yeah.
Like didn't Seattle's defense do? Like Seattle, Washington's defenses did well. All right, what else do you want to add here?
Let's see. Let's go with. I don't love Marquez Callaway, but I'm trying to see if I can get another pass catcher there. But it's tough to even think about.
Little Jordan Humphrey.
2-6
could be used.
Sure, let's throw him in.
Not there. Little at all. Probably want to have Taysom Hill in this too. I assume.
I would assume yes. That's
But can toss in Taysom.
Get to Humphrey.
Oh, actually, let's see. No, go ahead and fill it out.
You could go with Van Nett as well. I mean, you could throw him in there. So that might be
he blocks a little bit, so that's a concern, I would guess. But I mean, let's see.
Don't love it, but
yeah, don't feel compelled to go with little Jordan Humphrey. You don't have to. Well, the other thing you do is instead of Schultz, you could go with Michael Gallup.
Yeah, I think that might be my move.
Yeah, let's ditch Schultz and add Gallup, and then you can get Taysom. Take out Vanette, and you can get up to either Deontay Harris, Cowboys defense, or Greg Zuerlein.
I would go with the Cowboys defense there. I think.
There you go. So you got a 4-2 with Cowboys defense. And I mean, look, the Saints might not score a ton of points in this game. No. Like, I really don't understand the 47.5 line. I took the under.
Yeah, the under to me makes a ton of sense. So that's why I'm paying attention to the defense, obviously. But I just think too, Dak as a captain there, I think he's going to be not so low owned, but I think people are going to look at that number and then look at Taysom and say, I'd rather just go with that quarterback.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, Dak plus two of his pass catchers and his defense, and you're hoping that Taysom is sort of ground and pound, doesn't end up, not a ton of work from the Saints offense.
And I'll tell you this too, with Dak is somebody who I think is going to have a decent night here against New Orleans. We talk about how they're good against the run. It's still a good defense, obviously, but not as good against the pass. You can throw on them more than you can run. They do line up, and this is from our CBS stats team. They line up in man coverage 34% of the time, which is the 8th most in the NFL. Dak Prescott against man coverage, 14 touchdowns, second among qualifying quarterbacks, a passer rating of 123.3, fourth among qualified quarterbacks, and then a yards per attempt 7.8 with his 10th among quarterbacks. So he's done well against those type of defenses, man coverage, a defense that that New Orleans gets into a decent amount. So to me, it's a little bit favorable there.
I think there's a pretty good chance. So just looking at it, I ran a little Amari. We don't have to run this one. I ran an Amari Cooper captain, and you basically can get the exact same team, but with Deontay Harris instead of little Jordan Humphrey. So if you felt like Deontay Harris is that much better, or Humphrey's not going to catch a touchdown, which you probably need from him to pay it, just to if you want to really win some cash, you could do that where Amari is the captain. The only, do you think Amari's going to be chalky?
No, I don't think so.
Because on one hand, like he's popping in optimizers. One,
okay,
but on the other hand, he's questionable, and they're not exactly hyping him up like he's going to have a huge workload.
And we're coming off of what I said. This is why I was going with the over on Gallup, because we're coming off of the news on Tuesday. I mean, we're recording this on Wednesday. We're coming off less than 24 hours or around 24 hours where Mike McCarthy was like, yeah, he hasn't really been feeling the best.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
Then all of a sudden he's activated. I mean, you can be activated and still show slight symptoms. They just have to be improving according to the protocols. So, I mean, he can still not have COVID or not be a threat with COVID and still not feel great. So I do wonder if there's some sort of a pitch count there, or at least people might look at that and say, you know what, maybe I'll fade him. And Michael Gallup's coming off this 100-yard game, so I'd rather just go with Gallup in the savings.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I was thinking people would. Yeah, you're right. People would rather. So Gallup is $2K less than Cooper. I wonder what if you do Michael Gallup as your captain. You go Gallup as a captain. Yeah, you still get really the same thing, except you can go Traquan Smith instead. So the Kamara thing is kind of messing this up too. Like he's not going to show up. I don't think anybody's going to want to play Alvin Kamara.
So maybe he's a captain.
So let me take out Tony Jones. Get out of here, Tony Jones. It's 16-8. That's so Alvin Kamara will not be a popular captain. Questionable tag, Taysom Hill at quarterback. The expectation that Kamara is not going to see a full workload. I like the idea of Alvin Kamara as a captain. Now we're going to lock in Dak, lock in Gallup, lock in Taysom. Can I get Dalton Schultz in there? Nope. Let's see, who can we get in with those four? Greg Zuerlein and then Tony Jones. God, Tony Jones cost me my damn fantasy. I'm probably biased against it because of that. Although I guess we could get, instead of Tony Jones, you go Malik Turner. Yeah, I mean, that would work. What if we do? What about a Saints heavy? All right, let's do a little Costanza action here. I'm sort of doing this on the fly, but clear it out and let's put Kamara in as captain. We're going to add Taysom Hill. We're going to add. Oh, I know. Saints defense. Very cheap. How about a little. Who else is catching passes from you? What about Ingram? All right.
Oh, yeah. I don't think you. I think you can work with.
I think I can do whatever I want with this, basically. Now, if you do Dak, let's take out Dak and then do. You got it. All right. So hold on. Before take out Dak real quick, because I want to see if I put Gallup in there. That leaves me 8K left. I can't get Lamb. I wanted to get Lamb, or I get Schultz. So you could do. All right. You can do Gallup and Schultz there. This is an extremely contrarian lineup.
I almost wonder, instead of Schultz, is there a Pollard element in there where it's you're talking about trailing,
Pollard
passing?
less than. Oh yeah, I like that. Good call. Yeah, that's a great call. Yeah, so you could pop in Tony Pollard or Dalton Schultz. But yeah, I mean, you would think if the Cowboys are trailing, and this is a Saints get the lead, a defensive touchdown or an early drive, and lots of Kamara and lots of Ingram, and obviously check to make sure Ingram's playing, but they feed the ball through their running game, short passing game, minimize how they don't want to turn it into a shootout. And then, you have Gallup and Tony Pollard catching passes, or even Gallup and Dalton Schultz catching passes, short passes from like Dak's under siege for whatever reason. Saints defense is playing great. Dennis Allen is dialing up pressure. Dak's getting, just not having a ton of time back there. I don't hate that.
And I think one guy that we should bring up, I like this lineup too, actually, but I think one, kind of emergency break glass if it's a problem type of thing is if Kamara is out, I think Ingram becomes a very, popular and captain play here.
Yeah. And so that's one of the things too. Like you need to, you have to, if all right, let's say that Kamara is out, so we'll take him say no Kamara. Where's Ingram? I mean, Mark Ingram would shoot up into a popular captain spot. And then you can probably do whatever you want with a $7,500 captain.
That's what I would assume.
Yeah, you could go Dak, Gallup, CeeDee Lamb, Taysom Hill, Greg Zuerlein. And then that's a pretty good lineup right there too.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, it's hard to kind of get the game. Like, even if the Saints are, and the other thing too, we didn't really talk about Zeke Elliott. If they're going to give Zeke a full workload and they just pound the ball with Zeke, you can also do that. I think that's pretty contrarian as well, right?
Yeah.
So let's try this one out, Chris. Let's put so I'm going to assume Kamara's going to be active. Where's Zeke? So Zeke at captain. And then if we're under this theory that this is the Cowboys win big and run the ball a ton, which I don't think people will have a lot of. I think you need to have Tony Pollard in there. Cowboys defense, maybe.
Yep.
Taysom Hill or Kamara?
If he's playing, I would probably go Kamara. He might you might get Vulture to touchdown, but
you get both in there. You can't get both in there. Oh, and then you could drop $800 or $600 Noah Brown or an $800 Tony Jones.
I was gonna say you can go Tony Jones.
Yeah, I think you want to have four. I think you need one pass catcher. So maybe ditch Taysom Hill and Tony Jones and go CD. And then we can do was it Tony Jones with 200? No, he was 800. Who's at 200?
800.
Malik Turner. And obviously if Turner, so that's a Cowboys onslaught of sorts. And it's just Kamara or I think that you can do Kamara or Taysom Hill. So if Kamara is not active, go with Taysom Hill in that single Saint spot. And a 5-1 will differentiate you enough that, you could pull away. I just want to look at the defense thing too. So if we do, don't we think the Saints defense is more likely to be better than the Dallas defense? Or I guess the Dallas defense has a better matchup.
I was going to say it's more the quarterbacks that I'm looking at when you're talking about these defenses. Yeah. I know the ceiling for Dak Prescott, and it's pretty dang high, and I think I know the ceiling for Taysom Hill, and it's not.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, so Dallas captain defense. You can go Zeke, Dak, Gallup, Zuerlein, Taysom Hill, basically.
Yeah. When
you go Cowboys defense and your captain. And if you're inclined, you can put the Saints defense in there as well, but nothing wrong with it. Sorry, Dak. I should read this a little more slowly. Dak, Zeke, Taysom, Gallup, and Greg Zuerlein. I kind of like that lineup.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Where it's like Taysom is running an offense, but not running it a ton, but just not producing a ton. Dallas defense is playing really well, flying all over the place for Dan Quinn, and then you're feeding Zeke the ball. The one change maybe I would make to that is go with can we go Tony Pollard instead of 78, 68? No. You could take Gallup out, go Tony Pollard, and drop down from Greg Zuerlein if you want to. We don't need to do that right now. But right. That's the point. Is like that's a Cowboys defense heavy matchup.
That one I think I like the most, to be perfectly honest with you, because it's exactly how I feel this game going down. Where
you should probably enter that then. If you think if the game goes exactly, because it's pretty rare when a game goes exactly the way you think it is.
Right.
And when if it does, you won't have the lineup that pays it off, and that might be the lineup that pays it off. Yeah. All right, good stuff as always, Sully. Producer Chris, excellent work. It's getting down to the nitty gritty. Huge game tonight between the Cowboys and the Saints. Check out, you hit the alert button. You'll know when we go live after Cowboys Saints here on the Pick Six Podcast YouTube. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. See you guys on after the game.